I'm here again for another episode of Yes for the Mess. Alright, you guys, we're here for another episode of Yes for the Mess. Just like I told you guys, there will be videos coming out throughout the day, just due to the fact that I haven't done much content all this week. I just returned back to work on Monday from my vacation, so I'm just trying to catch up on everything that I have not talked about. So on this episode, we're going to talk about Cynthia Bailey. Okay, so let's get right on into this shit. So with all you guys know, the Housewives of Atlanta virtual reunion will be coming out on May the 10th, which is this Sunday at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Time, on Bravo or whatever. So there have been some reports about Cynthia Bailey possibly being fired from the show or possibly demoted from the show and possibly being replaced by none other than the fraud herself, Felony Parks. So I got an article from realityt.com and I'm going to read that article to you. Then I'm going to give you what my take is on this whole little situation with Cynthia Bailey and Felony Parks. So let's get into the article. If you thought this season of The Real Housewives was messy with the return of Kenya Moore, you probably will love this news. Mama Joy says streets are screaming and rumors are running rampant over what might be one of the biggest controversies in Housewives history. Have a seat, Nene Leaks. This is not about you, but I'm sure that will change at any moment. Reports are saying that Cynthia Bailey has been given the thank you next treatment by Bravo. Cynthia, our model extraordinaire, might not be the most interesting person in the world, but she does have the gift of longevity. It's fair to say that some folks have been trying to cancel Cynthia for years now. Maybe when I say I've been trying to get this bitch off the show for so many years now, I'm telling you, this motherfucking article is not telling no lies. But that could be said about most of the cast at some point. Despite Cynthia's new engagement, wine business, and other attempts to remain in focus, she may finally be gone. But that's not what may cause you to clutch your pearls. The real scoop is who might be replacing our model and savior, Cynthia. Buckle up, Candy Burris, and hide the keys to the sex dungeon, because attorney and friend of the deceased and ex-wife of a convict, Felony Parks, might want to have a word. It could be a long shot, because who in their right mind would intentionally go against the most powerful woman in show business? Welcome, sarcasm. Candy. What's more, who would risk the wrath of her irritating mother? All I can hear in my head is, don't start none, won't be none. And Bravo might be starting none with this cast revelation. According to the blast, Cynthia is being fired and replaced with the woman who was allegedly relieved of her duties when she implied that Candy was a rapist. Seriously, Bravo? Is there literally no one else in Atlanta to hire other than Phaedra? I guess once again, Nene's Adidic attitude and grade school displays of violence have been ignored. Now the media is saying Real Housewives of Atlanta producers have been in contact with Phaedra to return for season 13. Source shared, Phaedra is in talks to come back on the show. Real Housewives of Atlanta is still the highest rated Housewives series, but producers feel it hasn't been as interesting as so they want Phaedra to return. Regardless of who returns, it's exhausting to watch Nene make a fool of herself every year. Can she at least take up spiteful knitting or something? Unconfirmed reports have stated producers offer Cynthia a reduced role as a guest or a friend of at a much more lower pay rate. Damn. Cynthia got Vicky G'd it, pretty much, because I don't know how to pronounce that bitch last name. So much for their wedding budget. Apparently, executives reached out to Cynthia to break the news. At this time, we don't know if the soon-to-be negative 50 Cent has accepted the deal, but she is reviewing the offer. Cynthia did post a questionable message on Instagram after the news broke. The strongest people are not those who always win, but those who don't give up when they lose. Hashtag Motivation Monday, hashtag Model Monday. Oof! I guess we won't get any chill hashtags anytime soon. Cynthia has yet to make a public statement, but the one I'm really waiting for is Candy. In 2019, Candy claimed that she will bust a move off the show if Phaedra ever returned. It would be very interesting to see how this all plays out. Is this Phaedra's rise from the shameful ashes of trickery and whatever this shit said? Could producers pull a stunt queen move that might result in losing a stable cast member? And finally, who are the 5 people who love Phaedra so much that she warrants a comeback? Marlo Hampton is holding on line 1 at Bravo headquarters. Okay, so that's the article from Reality T, basically saying that there are reports that Cynthia has been fired, but there's also a report that she was offered a deal that would have her in a reduced role, being a guest of the show or just basically a friend of the show at a much low pay rate, and she could be replaced by Phaedra Parks this season, being that the show has not been as interesting over the last couple of seasons. Now I know y'all want my opinion on this, and I'm just gonna give y'all the real tea. I'm just gonna give y'all the real tea, and I'm pretty sure that most of you guys are not gonna like it, but you already know that I don't give a damn. I'm just gonna tell y'all what the fuck I think, okay? First of all, as far as Cynthia being demoted, I think that it's time. I mean, if they're going to keep, I always said, if they're going to keep Eva around, then they got to choose between Eva or Cynthia. Because Eva and Cynthia are pretty much the same character. So you can't have two of the same people on the show at this point. And we need, at this point, I think that Cynthia has had an amazing run. I don't know how she's made it past all this time. But I think at this point, it may be time for her to just sit back a little bit. But my problem with it is, why would she be replaced with Phaedra? And my thing about it is, I don't understand why everybody thinks that Phaedra is some savior to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I will never understand it. My thing about it is, I don't find Phaedra that interesting. And I've never really found her that interesting until she started that beef situation with Kenya. Until she started beefing with Kenya, that's really when I started being Team Phaedra and when I really started rooting for her, because let's be real, most of us hated Kenya during season 5 and season 6. A lot of us did, and I was one of the advocates for I cannot stand Kenya back then, because I hated Kenya. And when she came for Phaedra, I was on Team Phaedra. I was Team anybody that was against Kenya, because I didn't like the bitch. I'm just being real. But when people say we need Phaedra back, we need Phaedra back, why do we need her back? I don't understand what's so important about her to bring her back and what she's going to bring to the show, because at this point for me, it's like this. Without Apollo, she's not interesting. What is she going to bring without Apollo being around? And if Candy doesn't want to film with her, or doesn't want to be around her, or doesn't want to give her any screen time for this beef storyline that a lot of you guys want to rehash again, and I don't want to hear not a word about this rape gate sex dungeon shit again for another season. If she don't have that, then what else is she going to bring? Phaedra is not that interesting unless she's having a beef with somebody. And we can all argue about whether Candy is interesting or not, but the people that are around her, they kind of keep her afloat. You got Mama Joyce, you got Ty, you got her aunts, you got her people. She got people around her that can make her a bit interesting for the least bit. Phaedra ain't got nobody to make her interesting at this point, because she ain't with Apollo, and she's not going to tell you what's really going on in her life. So what's the point of bringing her back? And everybody wants this fresh energy on the show, but we keep on asking Bravo to bring back old people, like, oh, let's bring back Sheree, oh, let's bring back Phaedra, oh, let's bring back Lisa Rule. Like, we want to bring back motherfuckers. Oh, bring back Kim. But we keep saying we want a fresh energy, but y'all want to bring back all these old cast members. Why not just get rid of the dead weight and just bring in some new people? I think that it's time for us to bring in a new batch of girls, because at this point, we done had the same cast for a long motherfucking time now, and it may be time to get rid of some people and bring in new people. And that's just how I feel about it. Now, do I agree that some people may need to go? I definitely agree with that. Do I think that some of the friends of the housewives should go? I definitely agree with that. So if y'all want to know what I think about this shit, let's just be real. Okay, if Cynthia got demoted to a friend of the housewives, I'll be absolutely okay with that, to be honest. Now, I may not be Cynthia's biggest fan, but I would kind of miss seeing her on screen. But if I could take her as a friend of, I'm fine with that. She doesn't need a peach at this point in the game. So let's see who I think that they should keep. And I'm being very unbiased when I say that. Nene, Candy, Kenya, and Portia. Those are the 4 that I feel like they should keep. You can keep Cynthia as a friend. You can keep Marlo as a friend. That's it. That's it. Now, when I say keep those 4, Nene, Candy, Kenya, and Portia as peach holders, let's find some different people that's in Atlanta that we could bring on the show that would possibly spice it the fuck up, okay? You got people that could be on this show. Think about the women that was on Cutting It in the ATL. You had Deidre, you had Maya, you had Beauty, Mushia. One of those girls could come on the Housewives of Atlanta. Or what about the girls that was on Atlanta Exes? You had Tori Hart, you had Tamika Foster. Why not bring one of those girls to the show? I mean, you got all these singers that's out right now that could be on the Housewives, like Monica, you got T-Boz, you know, one of them could be on the show. I mean, there are so many women that's in Atlanta that you could put on this platform. I'm serious. Like, there's so many people, and y'all choose to go back and keep bringing back the same people, regurgitating the same old drama. We need fresh drama at this point. I'm not interested in seeing Kandi and Phaedra go back and forth about some bullshit that happened 3 years ago. I don't have time for that, because at the end of the day, I don't have time to be arguing with her dumbass fans, and I don't have time to constantly keep saying why Kandi has the right not to want to fuck with her. I don't have time to be screaming it to the rooftops on every damn video. Bad enough I gotta deal with Porsche fans. I don't want to deal with this shit again. And on top of that, I'm just not interested in seeing Phaedra. That's just my personal opinion. Like, I don't want to see her. I don't feel like she's gonna add anything new. This is just another person for Nene to have in her damn pocket. So I'm not really interested in seeing it. And honestly, while we're at it, we can make Shamia a damn permanent friend of the show. I would take her over Tanya, honestly. But if we got to have Tanya, okay, fine, whatever. But I just feel like, what's the point? Like, what is the fucking point of bringing Phaedra back? I don't get it. Like, I don't. What is she gonna bring? What is she gonna bring? But you guys, what do you think about it? Should they get rid of Cynthia? And do you want to see Cynthia in any type of capacity? Like, do you want to see her as a peach holder? Do you want to see her as a guest? Do you want to see her as a friend of the show? Or you just don't want to see her at all? And how do you feel about Phaedra coming to the show? Do you think that she deserves to have her peach back? Or do you just rather want to see her as a guest or a friend of the show? Let's leave it below. Let's be respectful. Because we know when it comes down to this show, y'all don't know how to do that. So let's just try to be respectful, okay, to everybody's opinion. Because mods be on dick, because I already know that the stupid comments are going to come. But with that being said, you guys, this is your boy Scotty, and I'm out of here. This is another episode of Yes for the Mess. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at Scotty_by_nature. With that being said, you guys, I'm out of here to my next video. Peace out. There'll be videos out throughout the day. Be on the lookout. See you later.